Howdy! Today we're going to be learning about fractions. Did you know that you use fractions in your everyday life? We call something a fraction when we're talking about just a few objects out of a group. Fractions have two parts, the numerator and the denominator. The numerator goes on top of our fraction bar. Tells us how many objects we're talking about. The denominator goes on the bottom and tells us the total number of objects in the group. Another way to think about it is the numerator is the part and the denominator is the whole. Let's try a simple example with shapes. So we have 8 shapes, 4 squares and 4 triangles. We want to know what fractions of the shapes are squares. We have 4 squares, so that is our part. It goes on top as the numerator. We have 8 shapes total, so that goes on bottom as our denominator since it's the total number of shapes. 4/8 of our shapes are squares.
One of the times when you'll be using fractions is when you're baking. In this example, we're going to be making a yummy chocolate cake with sprinkles. I already have the dry ingredients, but I still need to add water and vegetable oil. The recipe I'm using says I need 1/3 of a cup of water. Let's draw what that would look like in a measuring cup. Now I sectioned off the cup into thirds. Let's color in or pour what 1/3 looks like. Here's the 1/3 line, and we're pouring in the water. Great! Now let's do the same thing, but with vegetable oil. The recipe I am using says I need 2/3 of a cup of vegetable oil. Let's draw what that would look like in a measuring cup. Here's the 2/3 line. Awesome! Let's review as a class what just happened. In the first measuring cup here, I've poured in 1/3 of a cup of water. In the second cup, I've poured 2/3 a cup of vegetable oil. Thank y'all for helping me bake. This is going to be a great chocolate cake.
Did you know that fractions are also used in sports? For example, football has a few different ways they use fractions. The first and most obvious way fractions are used in football is how the time is split up into quarters. A whole football game is 60 minutes long. So when we split up the time into 4 different quarters, we have 15 minutes in each quarter. Once the two teams have completed 2 full quarters of play, they reach what is called halftime, where the two teams go back to their locker rooms and take a break before coming out and starting the next half of the game. Notice that the reason why it is called halftime is because 2 quarters out of a total of 4 quarters is equal to 1/2. Another way fractions can be used in football is by breaking down the parts of the field into fractions. A regular sized football field is equal to 100 yards, and if we break that down into 25 yards each, then we have 4 total parts. So, if a team is trying to score a touchdown from the 25-yard line, which is right here, they'll need to go 3/4 of the field, or 75 yards, in order to score a touchdown.
So who likes pizza? I know I do. Did you know that you're eating a fraction of a whole pizza when you eat 1 slice? Here we have a pizza cut into 8 slices. When we take away or eat 1 slice of pizza, we're eating 1/8 of the whole pizza. So what fraction of the pizza do we have left? To figure this out, we can count the remaining pieces of pizza. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 pieces remaining. Those 7 pieces will be our numerator, and the number of pieces we started with will be our denominator. So our fraction of pizza remaining is 7/8. But what happens if we eat another 2 slices of pizza? The fraction of pieces eaten or taken away then becomes 3/8. And the fraction of pizza left can be written as 5/8. Who knew eating pizza could help you practice fractions? Now we're going to have you try it.